Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are here to talk about the brand new Jeffree Star Jawbreaker Collection. So if that is something you're interested in watching, then you are in the right place. We're about to get into it.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf.
Alright guys, so today we are here to talk about some of the pieces from the Jeffree Star collection. Stay tuned to the end of the video, and we also have a giveaway coming up. There'll be more details on the giveaway at the end of the video, but first, let's go ahead and jump into this collection. So this is Jeffree Star's summer collection. It's obviously themed around jawbreakers and summer fun. It's got these bold, bright neon colors with splashes of hot pink and purple. The marketing campaign for this was very bold, very bright. I love that it's very summery. I love the colors are so incredibly colorful. It happens to coincide with Pride Month as well, and I do believe we may have every color represented in the rainbow in this palette. So I do love how incredibly colorful and beautiful and summer vibey the whole collection is. So the way that I got my collection was actually a little bit different. So I got the mini breaker on an off day one day when I was looking through my Twitter, and Jeffree Star just happened to tweet out, "Hey, I'm throwing up some mini jawbreaker palettes for the next 20 minutes. Go and grab one." And I was like, oh my gosh. So I immediately went to his website. I grabbed one. I ordered it straight from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and it actually got here the day before the Jawbreaker collection launched. I think that is a brilliant marketing ploy. Number one, all of the palettes arrived to people's homes the day before the launch. So the day before his collection launched, he had people posting this mini jawbreaker all over social media, and it really hyped up this launch. And the reason why I feel like there was a lot of hype around this launch was because there was a lot of inventory that they needed to sell. And the reason I think that is because, number one, Beautylish is also carrying the entire Jeffree Star collection in addition to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. In addition to that, all the Morphe stores across the United States, anywhere where there's a Morphe store, they actually had the collection in-house as well as online. This thing was launching everywhere on launch day, and I'm sure they've just learned from past launches that it's very frustrating for customers when the launch goes live and in 5 minutes every retailer is sold out. And that wasn't the case with this launch, and I was very happy to see that. That means that they have ordered a lot of inventory and they were properly prepared. It's not because this launch wasn't popular. Trust me, this launch was incredibly popular. Jeffree Star stated the day of the launch that they had already broken all of the previous records set by Blood Sugar and by Blue Blood palette. So we've already exceeded units sold on launch day for those two palettes, and those two palettes sold out immediately. So the difference is there was plenty of inventory for everybody, and bravo! Everybody got an opportunity to really get this Jawbreaker palette that wanted it. It was actually up and live for almost a full day, day and a half before retailers started to sell out. As a matter of fact, Beautylish still has the entire collection available to shop online with a little note that says, keep in mind, these items are going to ship after June the 26th. So I'm pretty sure they've probably sold out of all of their current stock, but they have another whole reload coming in just a couple of days, which is amazing. I am so glad we have finally figured out mass production. There is nothing more frustrating for consumers than wanting an item really bad and not having enough inventory to make sure that everybody that wants the product gets the product in their hands. So I had a really interesting experience with Beautylish this year. So initially, about a week ago, there was a little post that popped up online that said there was going to be a pop-up shop located in the greater Philadelphia area at a Beautylish warehouse that we have here in Philly. They were going to do a pop-up shop and allow people to come and actually physically purchase the collection. And I thought that was a great idea. It allows people to shop the collection, look at different pieces, get what they want, not have to deal with the whole online death match that can be the launch day for Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and really allow you to enjoy the purchasing experience. So people started signing up saying they wanted to come to the pop-up. Well, 2 days before the pop-up shop was supposed to go live, so 2 days before the Jawbreaker Collection launch, Beautylish took down the Facebook event of the pop-up shop. They rechanged the title of the event from a pop-up shop to a pickup location. So a lot of people were really confused and we didn't really know what was going on. So what ended up happening was they decided, instead of doing a pop-up shop, because it looked like the collection was going to be in pretty high demand, they decided to do a different type of buying experience. If you were able to order the product online, when you went to check out, there's going to be a button there that says you can actually go pick this up same day. And if you were able to purchase your product online, then you would be able to go to the Philadelphia Beautylish warehouse to actually pick up your product on the same day instead of having a pop-up shop, which, you know, that's neat, but a lot of people took like a day off to go to the pop-up shop, and then they find out 2 days before the event that, haha, just kidding, you still have to get online and see if you get your product. So a lot of people were very frustrated about Beautylish canceling that event. So we decided we were going to go ahead and do the pickup option. I was incredibly curious to see how this was going to work. So my sister and I were online as soon as the collection went live. We purchased our products. It did give us the option right at checkout to go ahead and pick up your product on the same day. And then we headed out to Philadelphia and I took some footage for you guys. So this is what it looked like. Where are we going? We're going to the city? So we had a lot of fun. It was actually pretty cool. We got to drive into the city. I live on the outskirts of the city. I actually avoid the city at all costs. I tend to stay right on the outskirts of Philly, but every once in a while it's nice to actually drive into the city. And the Beautylish location is just this gigantic warehouse, you guys, and it's a pretty drive. It is a lot of traffic, as you saw from that footage, but it was a lot of fun, and it's always really good to actually place your order and have it in your hands on the same day. So I thought that was a really neat experience that Beautylish offered. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and talk about these products. Now, the first product that I want to talk to you guys about is the Mini Breaker. So this is the first ever Jeffree Star mini palette. Now, this little baby retails for $28. It is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette, and the colors in here are stunning. Now, there are only 2 colors in here from the actual Jawbreaker palette, and that is the color Bite Me and Bubblegum. That's these 2 colors down here are actually in the Jawbreaker palette. The rest of the colors on here are original to the Mini Breaker. Now, there is one formula in here that is Jeffree Star's first ever attempt at a duochrome, and that is Oral. It's this beautiful kind of purpley lavender color with a blue shift to it. It looks absolutely stunning, like packed on the lid. But then, of course, you have the metallics. You have these beautiful matte colors, and this color right here, which is Orange Crush. It is one of those mattes that just has a little tiny bit of sparkle throughout the matte formula. So that's a kind of a rundown really quickly of what you're going to get in the Mini Breaker palette. My personal opinion on this particular product is, number one, I'm glad to see that there is an offering here other than just getting the giant palette, which a lot of people aren't really going to be able to afford because it is so big and has more colors in it than any other Jeffree Star palette. Of course, the price point is a lot more expensive as well. So in addition to that, he made sure he had an offering of something that is still a little bit more reasonable. You still get a couple of colors here out of the big palette, but then you also get an original offering, which makes sense because if you don't have enough money to get the big palette, you have a couple of colors in here from the big palette you can enjoy, but then you also get some original colors that are specific to this palette and this palette alone. So if you decide to do a bundle where you get the big one and you get the little one, you're not just stuck with a whole bunch of duplicated colors. So I'm glad that he decided not to make this like a true mini of the larger version, whereas all 9 of these were just duplicate shades from the Jawbreaker palette. I think that was a good choice, and I definitely understand why he decided to do just 2 duplicates from the big palette and then make the rest of these original colors. Now, when it comes to the color scheme, and you're going to hear me kind of say this throughout, typically with the Blue Blood palette and with the Blood Sugar palette, I always said there's enough neutrals in here where you can really get some good everyday use out of it, and then there's these bold colors in here where you can just push yourself a little bit to get a little more creative. This collection is a little different. As far as I'm concerned, just personal preference, this is not a palette that I would reach for to use for a complete eye look. Now, could it be done? Absolutely. Would I do it for everyday use? No. But this is a palette that I would definitely love to have in my collection so that I can reach for it for different colors to add to different looks. I think the colors are crazy original, and I absolutely love his formula. But let's take a close-up look at this palette, and let's take a look at some swatches here. So again, the Mini Breaker retails for $28. This is, again, a candy-inspired palette. It is very bright, very bold. This is his first ever mini eyeshadow palette. It is going to be the most affordable way to get your hands on Jeffree Star Cosmetics' highly coveted iconic formula. This is going to be probably the cheapest palette that he's got, I believe, right now for retail sale. Now, this has 9 brand new shades and 7 you'll only find in this palette, with 2 of them going to be in, again, the larger Jawbreaker. You have everything from Terracotta Nude, which is double scoop, all the way to Oral, which is that mirror reflective silver with a duochrome finish, very lavender kind of looking. You have Slice, which is one of my favorite colors in here, which is a burnt yellow orange with a metallic finish. Hot Fudge is a dark cool tone brown. That's a matte finish in here as well. Of course, keep in mind that all of these are vegan and cruelty free. The swatches are stunning. I think the color payout is beautiful as always. The pan sizes in this are good. I love the fact that he kept the pan sizes true to his pan size, so you're going to get the same size pan in the mini breaker as you do in the big Jawbreaker palette. You just get 9 of them instead of the big one, so I like that the pans aren't minis either. So yeah, overall I really like this palette. I think it's beautiful. I think a lot of these colors are stunning, but again, just not something that you're probably going to reach for every day. Now, I will say that I do have one of these shades on my eyes tonight. I have Slice, which has become one of my favorite shades out of this entire collection. I have that right on the center of my lid tonight. It's stunning. It's actually really pretty outside, in the outside beautiful light as well. In the sunlight, it just is stunning. It's just one of those gorgeous reflective colors that is just so pretty, you guys. But there are so many shades like that in this collection. Shades that you just look at and you're just like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Keep in mind that there are pressed pigments in this palette as well. So there are going to be pigments in here that could possibly stain your eyes a little bit. Mostly you're going to run into that when it comes to like the pinks and the dark purples. Those, because this is a vegan formula and they don't use carmine, instead they have to use dyes. So keep that in mind as well. If you want to know which ones are pressed pigments, it will be on the outside of the unit carton for each. Just look on the back and it'll tell you on the back which ones are pressed pigments. So that is it for the mini breaker. Alright guys, so next up is the Big Daddy Jawbreaker palette. This is Jeffree Star's biggest palette yet, with 24 shades in this giant beauty. So this retails for $58. Of course, it is a little bit more expensive because there is quite a lot of eyeshadow in here with 24 pans. Now, when it comes to the formula in here, you are looking at 24 brand new shades from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, there are a lot of colors in here that a lot of people were like, really? This is a brand new white. I've seen this white before. But honestly, when it comes to Jeffree and his color formulations, they really are original to this palette. Like the Blue Blood had a white that was a little bit more kind of eggshelly off-white. The Blood Sugar had one that was this really like sheet, kind of crisp white, and this is more of like a bone white. So they are all very different tones and undertones. This yellow right here, I think he said was like 4 times brighter than the yellow that's in the Thirsty palette. And I will say it is, when you compare this yellow to the yellow in the Thirsty palette, this is more neon, I would say, as opposed to the yellow in the Thirsty palette. So these are all really genuinely original to the Jawbreaker palette. Now, of course, you have Bite Me and Bubblegum. These are the 2 shades that are in the mini breaker. And another thing to note about this palette is if you are a matte lover, you're gonna love this particular palette. This palette is very matte heavy. The entire top row is nothing but matte shadows. The second row is all matte with the exception of 2 shades. The third row is all matte with the exception of 3, and the fourth row is all matte with the exception of 2. So there are more mattes in this palette than there are textured metallic or shimmer shades, and I, for one, love that. There are pressed pigments in this palette again, so make sure that you read the back of the unit carton so that you know which one of these shades are pressed pigments. Now, I will say this, there are a lot of colors in here that fall into what I consider to be a neon category. Neon formulations, when it comes to eyeshadows, they're very hard to work with. They're hard to formulate. They're difficult to work with on the eye. They're hard to get right. Colors like this color here, which is the F word. This color here, Wow, and also Gumdrop. So these colors that tend to be really, really bright and really, really neon, you will probably need to use a little bit of extra elbow grease when it comes to using those particular colors on the eye. I definitely noticed when I was playing with this palette that some of these shadows take a little bit more work than others. Now, the rest of the palette obviously is his gorgeous matte formula. It blends like a dream. You can pack it on the lid. They work beautifully. The shimmer shades, forget about it. You don't even really need to wet your brush, but if you want to pump it up a little bit, you can. And obviously they show up gorgeous. But again, there are just a couple of these really bright neon colors that you may notice are a little patchy or sometimes hard to work with. Just hang in there, work in really light layers, and you'll be able to get them to work. It's not necessarily the formula itself as opposed to the pigment. It's just that way with those really, really bright colors. It's just the way the dice rolls. So again, my recommendation would be to either A, work in really light layers and build the pigment up, or B, just take a flat brush and make sure that you have a pigment primer on your eye and literally pack that pigment onto the lid, get it good and packed on there, and then go in and blend out your edges when you're working with these really bright kind of neon colors. Another thing that I noticed about this palette was this one is a little bit better when it comes to being able to just grab an everyday look out of this if you wanted to, but not as everyday look friendly as Blue Blood and Blood Sugar. With Blue Blood and Blood Sugar, you had a little bit more neutrals in there where you could just pull off an everyday look. With this palette, you're kind of limited a little bit. I mean, you do have colors down here like Cone and Tasty where you can get pretty tame looks out of here. You have a beautiful navy here where you can get a pretty decent, toned down look with a good navy blue. This is delicious, and this navy blends out gorgeous. This is a beautiful color to use. And then of course up here you have some pretty tame lighter colors that you can use on the brow bone. But other than that, I mean, you're really dealing with some pretty bright shades here. So this is definitely going to be for the adventurous and the bold when it comes to these colors. But let's go ahead and take a look at this palette up close and get into those swatches. All right, guys, so this is the large Jawbreaker eyeshadow palette. What a rainbow wishes it could be. This next level eyeshadow palette is the largest to date with 24 shades that blend like a dream. Again, these are all candy inspired, blinding shimmer, rich metallic, and vibrant matte finishes. This can be your go-to palette for just about everything. Perfect for a rave, going out at night, great bold looks. You have a lot of matte finishes in here. You also have glitter finishes in here, metallic finishes in here. This is a gorgeous eyeshadow palette. So of course this is his iconic eyeshadow formula that's really known for high color payoff. Again, with all of the different finishes in here, you have a broad range of choices. And then, of course, this is his normal pan size, except with 24 brand new candy-inspired shades. So again, these are all brand new to the JSC line. None of these are duplicated in any way. They swatch beautifully. I love how opaque a lot of these colors are. Again, I love the mattes. I think the shimmers are absolutely stunning. And I do love some of the more subdued shimmers in here as well. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that when we come back from the swatches. But overall, I really do love the color layout. I think it's one of his most beautiful palettes to date. And overall, I think this one was a home run, especially for a summer type of a palette. I think this is really, really well done. So a couple of the shades in here that I wanted to talk to you about as far as like those subtle kind of shimmers. So shades like And What? So this isn't necessarily like one of his crazy metallic colors. It's just this beautiful subtle shimmer shade. So do you see what I'm saying as far as it's not like you know, liquid metal or any of those crazy kind of metallics, but it's just this really, really pretty, subtle shimmer, and I love that satin type of eyeshadow. It blends beautifully, and it's just a really pretty color. Now, if you contrast that with like a color like Wow, then you can see the difference. In Wow is like one of those really bright, really pretty, shiny colors, and see how reflective. It's really super reflective, very, very pretty. This is beautiful for a spotlight eye or for an inner corner highlight. It's just a stunning color. But these little shimmer shades that he has in this palette that are kind of really subtle, these are really, really pretty. And don't be afraid to use something like this up into the crease. It actually can look really pretty. I would stay away from using like, you know, a metallic or a foil, even though you can use whatever you want in the crease. But, you know, if you have like crepey eyes like me, or if you have texture on your lids, a lot of times we can't get away with this kind of a shimmer in our crease or up on our brow bone. Sometimes we can on the lid. But yeah, these kinds of formulas, this really kind of subtle shimmer type of formula, don't be afraid to play with those and blend those out in the crease. They actually blend out beautifully, and they look really, really pretty. I was actually very impressed by the shades that are like that in this palette. And then you have these gorgeous colors like Orange Juice, Jawbreaker, Lemon Drop. You guys, this Lemon Drop, like, are you serious? It's this crazy, and it really is just this, it's not even like gold, it's just a very yellow type of a shimmer. It's just really, really pretty. And then very unique alien type of colors that are very typical Jeffree Star, with shades like this, which I think are just gorgeous. The reflection in that color is just so stunning. This is actually Jawbreaker, and this is one of my favorite colors in the Jawbreaker palette. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous shifty white with some green undertones. I don't know, it's just a beautiful, unique color, and it looks really, really pretty right in the center of the lid. Now, I actually have Tasty, which is this matte brown. I have Tasty kind of all here, and then I have that shimmer from the mini Jawbreaker here right down the center. I used Cone right above Tasty, and then I used Virgin right up here underneath my brow bone. So you are able to get quite a variety of looks out of this palette, but of course this is definitely going to favor the brave. So if you are a brave, bold eyeshadow wearer, this palette is definitely going to be right up your alley. Again, this retails for $58, or you can get a bundle where you get this and the mini Jawbreaker, I think for like 70 something dollars. You save a little bit of money if you do it that way, but on its own, this one is $58. So let's get into the next product. So the next product is the Brain Freeze. This is his Skin Frost Pro palette. This is one of his highlighter palettes. This has 6 full-size Skin Frost highlighters in here, and this is what it looks like. So you have these beautiful highlighter shades in here. You have Cold Shoulder, Goldbreaker, Cocky, Statuesque, Frozen Fruit, and Freeze Tag. Now, I will say for myself on an everyday, I really have used Goldbreaker quite a bit. I actually really, really like Frozen Fruit, even though it's pink. You would be surprised how pretty this actually looks on the cheek if you just apply a little bit, and then I love to just tap it in. And it doesn't really, I mean, it reads a little bit pink, but it doesn't, it's not like overly pink, like you're putting like a pink color on your face. And his highlighter formulations are gorgeous. There is not any kind of crazy looking film when you're looking dead on, but you do see it as soon as you turn your head and it catches the light. And I love that about his highlighters. Now, Goldbreaker, this is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter, but keep in mind, you guys, you're going to see this kind of speckled Jawbreaker type of look. That is just an overspray. Eventually, that is not throughout the highlighter, so eventually you'll get down to just this really pretty kind of gold color that has some shift in it. This is stunning. I have used this just about every day since I've gotten this. But I was also really surprised at how often I have reached for cold shoulder. Now, this looks very white in the pan, but it reads very bluish on the skin, and it really makes your skin, look wet. That's the best way that I can describe this. If you use this very, very lightly, you can get this really pretty, just my skin is kind of wet, drenched look on the skin, and it, even though it looks blue in the pan, it won't read blue if you work with it in really like easy kind of motions on the skin. You really just pat it in, work it into your powder, and you can just get this beautiful, I love working with these, you guys. They're so surprising to me. Now, these darker shades, these are stunning on the eye. I love working with these like on the lid, and these are going to be gorgeous highlighters if you have like a deeper skin tone. These two right here, they're just stunning shades. Freeze Tag, this is a very, very icy blue kind of highlighter. I love it. I think it's very interesting. This one does read very blue on the skin. So I don't know how much use I'll get out of that one, but these three right here I've really had a lot of fun with, and these two are stunning on the eye. This one is kind of the only one that I'm like, I could have done without it, but it's definitely unique and I think it's gorgeous. But let's take a closer look at this and show you guys the swatches here. Alright guys, so these are inspired by the sugary ices that we all know and love, that we can get at the 7-Elevens, etc. So that's what this is called, the Brain Freeze Skin Frost Pro palette. This is a limited edition highlighter palette. It has his best-selling Skin Frost formula in really cool shades. You have icy, sugary, delicious shades in here. This palette was created with the idea that too blinding isn't a thing. So use the frosty shades alone or layer them together to achieve your desired glow for face, eyes, and body. So again, you have that white silver with blue, you have radiant golds, you have deep golds, a yellow gold, you have that shiny pink, and that kind of funky silver that has a really kind of blue shimmer finish to it as well. Now, again, keep in mind, these are limited edition, you guys. That is the only thing that I want to make sure I really reiterate to you guys, because this particular palette is not going to be around forever. This isn't going to be a permanent part of his lineup. So if this really speaks to you, then make sure that you guys get your hands on it. And then of course, the only other thing that I want to bring up about these is the longevity. So the one thing I really like about his Skin Frost palettes, the pro palettes that he puts out, this particular formula lasts a really long time on the skin. It's incredibly customizable in the amount that you use. Like I have it on tonight, and you can really customize it. Like this isn't one of those blinding to the gods type of application, and it's not really a natural application either. I decided to go kind of in between with my look tonight, but you can do a very natural finish with these highlighters. You can also really build it up and just, you know, be absolutely blinding. You have the ability to layer and build and play with these. This color right here looks absolutely stunning across here, across your collarbones, on your shoulders. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. If you want to even get into maybe using a little bit of Cocky, I took a little bit of Cocky and I actually mixed it in with my moisturizer and put it on my legs, and really, really liked the look of it. So there are a lot of fun things that you can do with the highlighter palette. I think a lot of people will get more enjoyment out of it than you think. Initially, I know a lot of people kind of looked at this and was like, oh, there's only like one color in here. A lot of people were pointing at this and saying that's really the only shade that I would use. Or if you're more of a dark tone skin girl, you guys were like, you know, that's really the only shade I'm going to use. The rest of these are funky. What am I going to do with the whole palette? This palette is a lot more versatile than you think that it is. I really, really enjoy playing with this palette. This is one of my favorites out of this entire buy. So I really like the Brain Freeze Pro palette for the Skin Frost, so this is absolutely Erica approved. Now, let's get to the fun stuff and talk about the contest. So, one extra thing that I got for the contest, I did get a lip scrub because I just wanted to throw in one extra thing. So there is the new Cucumber Mint lip scrub from the Jeffree Star collection will be going in the giveaway, in addition to the large Jawbreaker palette. Now, what we're going to do is the same thing that we always do when it comes to giveaways. You only have to do 3 things. You have to like this video, make sure you put in the comments a way to get in touch with you in the event that you are the winner, and make sure that you're a subscriber. That's all you have to do. If you don't want to put a way for me to get in touch with you down in the comment section below, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram. You can hit me up at Erica Approved on Instagram through DMs, and I can reach out to you that way. As long as I have a way to get in touch with you in the event that you are the winner, that is all I need. You can even just put a comment down in the comment section that says just reply here to my comment on YouTube, and that will be fine. When we draw the winner, you will have 48 hours to get in touch with me before we move on to the next name selection. Now, the winner will be announced live via live stream here on my channel. We always do giveaway announcements that way. So you will have to tune in live and hear if you are the winner or not. The announcement for the live stream will be later on. I'll announce it on my Instagram, or I'll announce it in an upcoming video to make sure that everybody knows when the live stream is going to be. The contest is going to run between now and the end of this month. So you have between now and the end of June to get in, and then at the end of June, going into July, we will do the drawing for the Jawbreaker palette. So again, make sure you're a subscriber, make sure that you like this video, and make sure that I have a way to get in touch with you in the event that you are the winner, and that is everything. And then we'll have the live stream and we'll do the giveaway. I'm so excited. It's been so long since we've done a giveaway, so I'm really excited about this one. Let me know what you guys think about this collection. It's a very bright, it's a very bold. Let me know what you guys think. It's definitely, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those collections that people are either going to really, really love, or they're going to really, really be like, no, I'm going to pass on this one. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you guys are new here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button before you leave. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, again, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Erica Approved, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And as always, I hope all of you guys are very happy and very healthy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.